Just a few days ago, I sold this item on Etsy. A Waterford crystal bowl, a large one, and not a Waterford Marquise crystal, the real thing with the seahorse sticker on it. And I didn't even stress out about shipping it because over time, I've assembled a shipping kit that has everything I need to ship fragile items so that I don't have to worry about glass or ceramics breaking on its journey to its new home. Today, I'll show you item by item what supplies make up my shipping kit, from boxes to packing materials, the sizes, shapes, and specifics that work best for my shop. And stick around later in the video, I'll demonstrate how I packed this set of ceramic candlestick holders safely for shipping. Hi, I'm Carol. I've been selling on Etsy for nearly 4 years now. On this channel, I share how I source, sell, and live with vintage. I continue to get comments all the time asking me about shipping, so today I'm sharing exactly what shipping supplies I'm currently using in my shop. If you're interested in checking out any of these supplies further, you can take a look at them in my Amazon storefront, which this is a QR code to, and I will put the link down in my description as well. In fact, it's in the description of every one of my videos. Let's start by taking a look at how my packing materials figure into the space that I call my shop. My Florida shop space is about, I would say, 1/4 the size of what I have here in Michigan, yet I've got a very similar setup. I've got my packing table here with all my supplies, my peanuts underneath it, packing paper underneath it, my tape and my scale stored on my packing table. And in Florida, I have to put my boxes all along the top of my inventory shelves. Whereas here in Michigan, where I have this spacious setup downstairs, I have 3 times the number of shelving units, and I have one entire shelving unit that I can totally dedicate to all of my boxes, my new boxes, my recycle boxes, with plenty of room for my inventory bins. So this is the dedicated shelf that I have for my boxes here in Michigan. They're not just stored on the tops of my shelving like I have to store them in Florida to have all of the room for them. The very top shelf is where I keep those milk glass vases that I haven't dealt with yet, and I do have a few recycled boxes on the top shelf as well as that second shelf. The garment bags are for my daughter's Depop sales, but I have 10 by 5 by 7 new boxes as well as 6 by 6 by 6 new boxes on this shelf as well. On the third shelf, I have the boxes I use the most, which are 8 by 8 by 8 and 10 by 10 by 10, as well as some extra recycle boxes. Those square boxes are my favorite for fragile items because I can get packing on all sides of the item all around it. So those are the ones I use the most. Now in Florida, I also have 12 by 12 by 12 boxes. I don't have any of those in Michigan currently. I'm not selling a lot of big items, but if I were to have some more bigger items, I would definitely get some more 12 by 12 by 12 boxes. The next shelf down has my 12 by 12 by 3 boxes, which I use for shipping plates in. And I have a box of just pieces of cardboard that I use between items inside boxes, as well as some padded envelopes. And then my bottom shelf is more recycle boxes. I keep as many as I can possibly use. Usually they are sizes that I can use in one way or another. Moving clockwise around the room then from the supply shelf, underneath my photo table, I have 2 extra bags of Peanuts. Packing peanuts are my best friend for glass and ceramics because I absolutely put packing peanuts all the way around those fragile items inside boxes, and I seldom, if ever, have anything broken. And continuing to move around the room, I have these large shelves, which you may remember from videos just a few weeks ago that were full of items that I needed to list. Now they're basically all empty except the sconces and the candle cups I haven't dealt with yet. And I'm storing excess bubble wrap here. This is way more than I'll ever use this summer, but I got it ordered in and it'll be here ready for me next year. This is just my back stock though. The bubble wrap I'm currently using is under my supply table. We'll just keep moving around. And continuing to move clockwise around the room, there's our fireplace that you see behind me in every video. What you don't usually see is the game and puzzle cabinet right next to it. I don't show that on purpose. It's very busy visually to have in my videos. And then, of course, there's my computer area, an area where I have shelved product that I have listed, and the next shelf over has my packing paper, which I would absolutely not want to be without. I use probably 5 or 6 sheets of packing paper in every single box that I pack. Now, I don't always use new. I keep using it over and over again until it leaves my house eventually someday in a box. And last but not least, this is the last view of the room. We've gone all the way around it now. You can see my shelves for my inventory. And at the very end there, that's the shelf with the boxes where we started this tour. Under my packing table, I have these 2 big boxes. One contains just different packing paper that has either come in sourced or come in boxes of items we've ordered into our household. Then I have the current box of packing peanuts I'm working out of, as well as a big roll of bubble wrap, which is the current bubble wrap that I'm using. I always keep plenty of extra tape on hand as well as an extra tape gun. Most of my supplies, though, are going to be found on this cart at the end of my packing table, including this scale that I use. Once I have totally packed the package, I've got all the packing in there, I know how much it's going to weigh going out the door to the post office, I do make sure and weigh my items on this scale. Now, the only feature that I wish the scale had was an automatic shutoff. It does not. I can't tell you how many batteries I've gone through because I leave it turned on. My scale in Florida turns off automatically after a few seconds, but this one does not. Otherwise, it is a really good scale. I do have a couple of baskets on my cart with just sundry items that I need, scissors, pens, and so on. And I keep a little basket here with stickers in it. I like to include usually 3 or 4 or 5 of these beautiful floral stickers with every purchase. And I put one of those thank you note stickers on the outside of every single box. This morning, I sold this set of blue and white candlestick holders. So this is the item that we'll be packing in this demonstration. My inventory sheets told me that that item was stored in bin 66, and there's the SKU number 2026427 on the lid. So I dug around down in the bin and I found the correct item, which I pulled out, and then I crossed that SKU number off the lid. Once I had the item out of the bin, I wanted to check and make sure that there were no problems with the parts of the item itself. Checked it over really good, make sure there's no chips or cracks that have occurred during storage. And then I determined these would probably ship best in a 10 by 10 by 10 box. I start by putting the packing paper the item had been stored in the bottom of the box, and extra if I need it, along with enough packing peanuts to give me a couple inches of protection in the bottom. I've wrapped both items separately in a good amount of bubble wrap. I lay item number 1 in the box diagonally, and then I cover it so that it's in tight with packing peanuts. Then I lay the other item in the other direction, and I put a little packing paper around that to make sure it's not going to hit the edge of the box. And then I secure it all in with packing peanuts, weigh it, and at that point I can print out my invoice and my label. I fold the invoice with some stickers, put it inside the box, tape my box up, and then I put the label on the outside of the box along with a thank you sticker. And it's all ready for the post office. I hope this video was helpful for you, or at least interesting. I know we all ship differently, but it's nice to see how other people do things. I always pick up tips when I watch other vintage sellers packing their sold items to ship. If you didn't quite catch all of those different sizes of boxes, remember there's a link down in the description you can use to my Amazon storefront to see exactly the ones that I like to ship with. I hope you're keeping cool this summer. Thanks for being here today.